Oh, and we is live. We is live, baby. Say hey, Charlie. Hey. Mm-mm. All right, y'all. What's up? Okay, so I wanted to come on. This is about Ariel's. This is part 2 of Ariel. So the video is up. Her past life regression, attachment removal, uh, all of that is part 1. Part 2 is her actual past life regression, and that is up and posted now. So if you're interested in seeing that, you can go and take a look at that. Okay. So I want to. I want to talk a little bit about that. I feel like my little camera is dirty. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about the past life regression session with Ariel. First of all, it was fantastic. Y'all, I always say that. I always say, oh my God, it was amazing. Oh my God, it was beautiful. I say that about every single one. Have y'all noticed that? Okay, so anywho, check this out. Oh, that was cute. I got to see a mom and dad exchange. Dad pick up the kids from the mom. Oh, that was cool. Maybe they hit it some. I'm just nose out in the business. Okay, so listen. I wanted to talk about Ariel's past life regression. There's a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. So I finished it. Was it last night? Night before last. Night before last. What's the day? It's just it was Thursday. I think I finished it Wednesday or Thursday. Chopping up what I wanted to chop up and posting what I wanted to, taking out what I wanted to. Editing is a lot. So I had said I was only going to post 30 minutes of videos. It looks like it's going to be per video, by video. It could be this video is 30 minutes. This video is an hour. This next video, 2 hours. Another video is 6 hours. It's per person, per client, right? I have found this out. So let's talk about Ariel, part 2. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna take this gum out my mouth. Y'all know I hate seeing gum in people's mouth, and here I am freaking chewing it. So let me talk a little bit about Ariel. I want to talk about the chakras. Those of you that have seen it, or even if you haven't come across it yet, I want you to pay attention to when I start to talk to the chakras. Here's why. Did I notice in another one? I think somebody else's needs some chakra tuning. But specifically with Ariel's. I'm not Tara, so I don't know what that was about. Ariel's past life regression, we ran into a space where her throat chakra, oh shit. Yeah, so wow, it's my bad. We ran into a space where I sure do hope that I don't have no problem with that's the first time I noticed that thing in the back hanging down. What is that? All right, so this is the first time I noticed that thing that the chakras were speaking to me. All right, so she had a throat chakra and her solar plexus chakras. They needed alignment. And this all came about when I was doing the removal of an attachment called the giving up. And it was a purple layer over the top of her aura. And we had to remove that. Now, I want to tell you the beautiful thing about that one. The beautiful thing about that one particular instance was that instance was covering her whole entire aura. Not only was it covering her whole entire aura, the energy, when I was speaking to it, I asked, like, why was it there, etc. And did it have we're going to be asking you to leave, right? I can't remember the exact words that I used. Seemed like I use something different every time, but it's cool. You know what the energy said? The energy said she never asked. And I covered this on the video before this one. That's posted on YouTube and on Facebook. The energy said she never asked. What does that mean? That means it's some energies that are attached to you. It's an attachment. And it can cause issues. It could cause She was not causing harm, but it can, right? Um, Usually when I've come across them, there are some that are stubborn. So you could call them, they're not necessarily low vibrational energies, but they are energies, right? When the energy said she never asked, I want you to take into mind, if you're a person and you feel like you have some sort of attachment within the body, what that energy gave me knowledge of is that she never asked me to leave. Most people not thinking, I need to ask whatever the fuck is around here to get the fuck on up out, right? No, you're not thinking that. You say, oh shit, there's something crazy going on with me. And I don't want this to be happening. You merely have to have a conversation with that. And you will see that when you watch Ariel's, when you watch her past life regression, it is in the part that is entitled, Bougie Speaks with Chakras. It's in that part, right? Because I always do that type of removal in the very beginning. All right. Here's another thing that you got to understand. The reason that it came. So if you're a person and you're connected to your higher self, you're a person that is connected, tuned in, turned on, all of that. If you ask the question and wait for the answer, you may find out the reason why the attachment is there anyway. The energetic that is attached to something, whether it's in your body, whether it's on the outside. Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind. Now, let's get back to the chakras. When we did the removal of the two energies, one was connected to the top of her aura, and one was connected to her ankle and her right foot, right ankle, right foot, right? So in the video, towards the end, you hear me speaking. I think I was talking to Ariel. Was I talking to Ariel, or maybe I was doing a summation? I can't remember. But basically, I think I said, I know that I said it because I went back and edited day before yesterday to get it out, part 2 up. There was something where I said the purple layer, it was attached to her ankle and it was jumping from generation. No. What was I saying? I said the energy was attached to her ankle. Anyway, I had it vice versa, right? So the purple energy called giving up was on her aura. The energy that was connected to her ankle and her foot, which I did not get on tape because Ariel took a break, needed to go to the bathroom. And when she came back, we started talking and I forgot to press record. So we didn't get that, but I spoke about it, right? And she and I are going to talk about it. We're going to do a live on it. So that energy that was connected to her ankle and her foot was called, its name was Nosam. And literally when it came in to speak to me, it had a booming voice. It wasn't even Ariel's voice. You could tell the difference. And I wish I had caught that on tape. So what I learned from this, anytime if we take a break between anywhere in the session, that I'm not going to press pause. I don't even know why I pressed pause. That was weird as hell because I've never done that on any of them. I don't think. So that was weird. So I'm thinking maybe that one's supposed to be recorded. I'm not sure. But that's neither here nor there. So the energy that was connected to her aura didn't have a problem with leaving. The energy connected to her foot and her ankle gave me a little run for my money. And here's why. That energy had been connected to her foot and her ankle for a long time. Not only that, it had its same energy was connected to her father, and I think I think her father and her mother. I know for sure the father. So I say all this to say what? That was a generational energy. That energy traveled from lifetime to lifetime energetically and could move. Energies move, right? Okay. So with that being said, I want you to keep that in mind, all right, when these sessions come up. Another thing, talking about her chakras. So no, let's go back to the foot and ankle one. It did give me a little challenge. Was it a bad way? No, but it was some banter back and forth between it and I. It was some banter. Ari would have to tell you because she's in the back seat, right? So she'll have, when I say back seat, she was in the back seat while I was doing the session. All right, the next thing. Um, we finally got it to agree to leave, and also we got it to agree not to affect the her children, so they will more than likely not be what we call. She will have to instill in them not to be an overworker or working. What do you call that? Alcohol, workaholic, because that's where it started. That's exactly where it started. Then next, um, her sister, because I think I mentioned something like her sister works a lot or something like that. So she'll actually have to have a conversation with her sister to kind of curtail that, right? So it did agree. This energy agreed, right, not to do it, period, and to move on throughout the universe, and leave, never to return. So Ari has to make sure that she is paying attention to not working, overworking, etc. Now, let's talk about the chakras. Once we finish with the two energies, the purple layer that was on top of her aura and the energy that took up the space in her right ankle and right foot. Then we moved on to find out that there was something going on with her throat, her higher self, who was amazing. Seraphine is badass. That is the name of her higher self. Let me tell you, first of all, that's a badass name, Seraphine, right? And so I asked Seraphine, how did you come up with that name? Because higher selves, they will sometimes will let you name them. They will just tell you what their name is, and sometimes they'll give you explanation, because I do ask. I asked the higher self, how did you come up with that name? And you know what it said? It said, I just knew. So it just knew that that's what her name has been forever, Seraphine. Now, the chakras, when we got to those, the chakras did let me know what they needed. The throat chakra let me know that it was operating at 72%, an exact number. So with that being said, we had to energize it and give it some energy in order for it to be at 100%. And it let me know. Then I asked, does that chakra communicate with the other chakras? And it said yes. And so I asked, was there any other chakra in the body that needed alignment? And it said yes, the solar plexus. So we had two chakras that I was fine tuning and rebalancing, and they both spoke to me. So next I asked the sacral chakra to step up. It did. And when the sacral chakra stepped up, what did it tell me? It told me why it was imbalanced. So I want to bring something to the forefront to you. Here's the thing. So I'm learning all the time. And these past life regressions are amazing. So the reason that the sacral chakra was out of alignment, I think because she stopped doing things. She stopped dreaming. I think that's what it was. She stopped dreaming. All right. So I say all this to say, when you watch these videos and you hear these energies speaking, especially specifically the chakras that were speaking to me, how does this happen, Bougie? How? Because we're energy, their energy, right? We're energy. If you were to take I've talked about this before, you were to take a fine-tuned microscope and you put your hand up under, you would literally see shit moving. Yeah, it ain't gonna just look like a regular hand with skin. You would literally see things moving. We're energy, it's energy. The difference is our energetic makeup contains a vocal cord, right? Where we can speak. So if I'm speaking, energy is speaking to energy, it's going to use the same thing that we use to communicate usually, which is the voice box. And that is how it speaks. It's not like it has a language. No, it's vibrational. So I wanted everybody to know that it wasn't sure. Like, how the fuck is that happening? That is how it's happening. Okay. All right. Just like, for example, if you have a question and you reach out to one of your spirit guides, you ask it a question and you get a response, but it's in your head, right? Or some of you, if you're clairaudient, you would literally hear an answer. How does that happen? Because your guides which are not earthbound, and they move and they communicate through vibration, frequency. Okay. So we're the same thing. We're the same thing. So that is how, when guides are speaking, angelic beings are speaking, and they're speaking through the client, that I'm working with, it is because one, they are in alignment, and two, they're on a frequency of understanding. Even if it was an energy that spoke light language, and that person that I'm speaking to began to speak light language. How does that happen? The same exact way. Frequency, vibration. Okay. Now, I'm through talking about the chakras and the amazingness of them speaking to me. I was just, yo, I love what I do. I absolutely love it. I want to talk about when I want to talk about how you know that you're in control. Ari was under, and she was walking through the woods as the little boy. Now, when you go and watch part 2, this is where you're going to see this. She was a little boy who was learning about medicine, working for a doctor, going to pick herbs, going to pick whatever. He was looking for some berries and some trees. Ari mentioned to me, or Joseph mentioned to me, because she was a boy in that time frame. I think he was 7. Was he 7? He was young. Well, anyway, he was out there picking, so I began to talk to him, and I asked Joseph, how do you know what to pick, like the different herbs and stuff? And he told me he learned from the medicine people. Did you hear what I said? And this was 1847. He learned from the medicine people, and these medicine people lived in the woods, but they weren't supposed to talk to the medicine people. They were just supposed to go and get what they need and leave. Now, I didn't get to drill it, and I'm not even thinking about it now, but I didn't get to ask Joseph, why aren't you supposed to speak with the medicine people? Shit, I wished I had, but I didn't. We got. I wish I. Maybe one day we could take Ari back up under. We can go back to like. Oh, and by the way, yes, you can go back. If you visit a lifetime, you can absolutely go back to that same lifetime to get the information if you want to, if there's something that you missed. So I just wanted to bring that up just as a parking lot situation. All right. So when I was talking to the little boy, and he was telling me that he was in the woods picking the medicine for this doctor, I asked him, what did I ask him? Oh, he told me the medicine people, but they weren't supposed to speak to them. I was like, oh, okay. And then I asked him, do you know what he said there was a man there. And I said, who was it? And he said, the medicine people. And he said, but we're not supposed to talk to them. I said, okay. So then I asked him, I said, well, do you know what he looks like? He said, yes. And Joseph, which was Ari in that lifetime, 1847, he said, he's got really blue eyes. And I was like, oh, really? And as I was, when looking at the video, rewatching it, as I'm writing notes down, Ari came up. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it got really scary. And I remember kind of laughing, but it was a nervous laugh, like, what? She just popped up at the hypnosis. But I've seen that before. I've seen somebody else that had somebody in a past life regression. And that person, it was a male. He popped up out of the past life regression out of fear. He came out too. So I want to say this. This is the reason why that you absolutely can pop. Now, it has nothing to do with the higher self. This was the little boy Joseph, in turn, which is Ariel. You absolutely, if you feel like you need to come up out of that space of hypnosis, you absolutely fucking will. I can laugh now because I giggled then, laughed, and because it was like, whoa. But you could tell Ariel was a little discombobulated because she was laying down and she said, whoa. Oh. And she looked over at the camera and she said, oh, I'm sorry. I was a little scared. It was scary. And when she said it, the tone in which she said it sounded like a little girl, right? A young person. It was scary, right? And so I was like, okay, you okay? She let me know she was good. Remember, she's trusting me. Her higher self is trusting me. So once she gathered herself, I said, okay, we're going to go back under. All right. And so she didn't have no problem with that because higher self knew, inner child knew there was no harm in. She was in another past life and she is just a bystander observing. She knew that because I already told her that from the very beginning. So she didn't have any, she didn't say like, no, I'm not, I'm done, bougie. No, I'm not doing it. She went right back up under, right? I just took her right on back, and we stopped. We started off where we stopped, in the woods where the medicine man was. Now, I want to say, I wanted to cover these two areas right here because I wanted to let you guys know, if there's something going on in your home or something happening, your higher self is going to be alerted. It's going to know because you are under hypnosis. Yes, it's like a deep sleep, but you can wake up out of it, out of nowhere. Absolutely, 100%. You're in full control. First, you're allowing it to take place. And then if you're like, no, I'm not answering that, or no, I don't want to talk about that, you absolutely will not. Okay. So I wanted to bring that up. So when you go out and watch Aries, past life regression, the part 2, you will see and you will know that, see her come up out of it, but then go back in. Okay. Up under. So I wanted to come on and talk about that. I don't think that there was anything else that I wanted to bring up. I think I've got 3 more sessions. I've got one this tomorrow. I've got one next Saturday and next Sunday. So, or whatever it is, I will be done by that's the Sunday, the week of the 19th, whatever that is. That will be the last one, and I will be finished with all of those. So the books are open. If you want to have a past life regression, by all means, go over there and make your appointment to do so. Okay. I will be making a post about that. Also, we'll be making a post for those of you that would like to do a session with Meet Your Spirit Guides and have a conversation with them while up under, right? So I will be doing that. I will be posting it this weekend. I don't have anyone Sunday, I don't think. I think I've got Saturday, not Sunday, but then the next Saturday, and then the next Sunday. That's what I got. Okay. So if you want to have a past life regression, my link is in my homepage here, and you can go over there and you can absolutely schedule that if you want to. Okay. So that is all that I have for you guys. I hope that everybody's having a beautiful beginning of the weekend. And yeah, be good to yourself. Be kind. That's all I got for you. Y'all take care.